Kabir, if Idriss Deby was looking for any goodwill and trying to win people over to his new plan to transition to democracy, did he just lose it all with these 60 people shot dead protesting?
Yeah, unfortunately, it appears so. I mean, the situation in Chad can be described as the perfect storm. The political crisis, which Mahamat Idriss Deby is trying to navigate, the economic malaise, and then unfortunately the devastating flood, and then this use of force on protesters. So clearly, his attempt to exact some form of political control on the country is fast being lost.
You know, what Idriss Deby did, he didn't just say, I'm going to stay in power for a longer period of time. As we've seen in other countries recently, he put together this nationwide forum, and he also had the opposition leader chosen as the prime minister. So is there support for him in doing this? Do people understand an extended period before the transition turns to democracy?
Like every transition, the political opposition, as well as certain elements within the military establishment, are supportive of his desire to regain control. His dad ruled over a period of about 30 years, and during that period, Chad saw a semblance of stability. But then those that opposed his dad, to a large extent, still opposed Mahamat Idriss Deby. The committee he put together had little representation from that opposition group. And so clearly the country is divided over his desire, as it were, for him to extend his rule. And that is what we're seeing that has led to this protest, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few African leaders present at this announcement that he did to extend that transition period, but the African Union boycotted it entirely. Although we did hear the International Crisis Group, you might say surprisingly, say that, well, through this extension that he established, this could be a chance for him to build bridges. Do you think that is happening at all? Are bridges being built? And I mean, is that even possible now that these protests have turned so deadly?
I think it's possible. First off, the desire to extend the rule was grounded upon the fact that he needed to establish some stability within the country to allow for a peaceful elections. And then, like I mentioned, the economic crisis, the devastating flood, have also added an additional element of, to this situation in Chad. So yes, it seems to me that there's within this period from now until October 2024, if he does the right things in terms of bringing together all the the players within this dynamic structure that is Chad, then the possibility of organizing an election. But there are provisos and conditions within that. Is he going to be a candidate? Are those within his junta going to be candidates? All of this would determine the outcome of the transition, the role that France is going to play in all of that, the role that the EU as the regional continental body will play would also be significant in determining the outcome of the transition, as it were. More importantly, the opposition that has come together now and seems to be engineering the protests that we're seeing. How is he going to reach out to them? What platforms is he going to allow for engagement that would kind of appease and ease the tension that the country currently? So it seems to me he needs help from the international community, but is he ready to accept that help in a manner that allows for a peaceful transition?
Yeah, all right, Kabir Adamu, so good to talk to you. Thanks.